Hello, hello, hello. I am back. For today's installment, it's going to be Fix It Friday. I don't know if this Fix It Friday will be a fixture, but for today, that's what we're calling it. I'm coming back to revisit because I seem to be my prevailing theme this week. Revisiting a card. You guys will remember about a couple weeks ago, and I will link you in the description below to this card I originally did, and it was a trifecta of cards I did with my Simon Says stamp skit that I got. And if those of you who are watching caught when I blew the stamping and the embossing of this, and it was just a hot mess. But I was undeterred in my determination that I was going to fix this. So I went ahead, I finished the card, but I did save it. And I wanted to show you guys that ultimately what I did, I'm going to slap this together really quick for you just to share. But what I ultimately did is I yanked out some nesting dies I have, and these are FSJ nesting dies. And where did I put them? I had them right here handy. Of course, I think that I start and then I forget. But anyway, I'll link you down below. You know what? No, wait. Hang on a second. Let me find them. I had to flip and do was turn around to find them, but I located these. And it was funny because I had already pulled them for another idea. And then suddenly it was like, whoa, here I am. So I grabbed two of them. Let me show you what I ended up doing because they both cut out and they stitch. And I just put these together. And I cut out my pink panel, which now covers the offending stamped area. So now I can go ahead and very quickly, we'll make short order of this. I don't need to give you measurements. Actually, let me take it back. I will link you down below to not only to the card, but to the measurements for all the pieces. So that way, if you guys want, you can, do your own take on this card. But it's a very simple card. Not difficult at all. It's just a fancy fold, but it is basically it's a 5.5 by 11-inch piece of paper, and it's scored at 1.25, 5.5, and 9.25, and then folded so it has a really pretty overlap. So I have all my pieces already pre-cut for the matting, so I will go ahead, and they are pre-cut, right? Yes, I did. I was like, wait a minute, I did do that, right? I can't, I did this a few hours ago, so it's like, woo, who knows, what I think I did and what I really did sometimes are not one and the same. But I just want to really quickly put this together, but mostly the moral of the tale here today is that, the phoenix does rise up from the ashes, and you can resuscitate a card that you think like, oh crud, there it goes into the trash. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't like this is expensive paper or anything like that, but it was the principle to me of, no, I can fix this. This is not the end of the world, and we're going to make a go of it. So I did, because, as that very popular adage is, I go, she thought she could, and so she did. And I did. I got this card put together, I fixed it so that I can I'll add it to the stash, and it will still get stamped. It will still be a Valentine's card if it wants to be, and I can sit on it until next year and then send it out next year. Or when I need an excuse for an I love you card, whether I won't be able to send it to my husband because this one, and I don't open it for this because this one I gave to my husband because he specifically told me how much he liked it when I originally made it. But I have this. Now, here's the funny thing, because I have been holding out this entire time to be able to fix this card. So I have literally left these stamps mounted for 2 weeks on by Misty. That is half the reason why you guys have seen me. Let me move this off for just for a minute. Seen me using my, my Tim Holtz, is because this has still been loaded on here all this time, because I just didn't want to remove it because I had it so perfectly lined up that I was determined not to. So, I mean, obviously I've used it and worked around it and then ran out of reasons to work around it. And now I've moved this from where it was, and who knows what it was there for now, because I have slept since then. But now I can go in and, for one, not make the same mistake which caused the initial problem. I now will see, instead of folding it half like I did the last time, once, guys, I do learn. Once in a while, I actually learn from my mistakes. I can now stamp this. Now, see, I need to, it's not centered perfectly, not to my satisfaction. And I think that's mostly because now I've I have an insert, or who knows, but there you go. I can now go ahead and let me inch it just a little bit more. Whoops. All right, if I lifted the lid a little bit. Yeah, that's going to be good enough. So I'm going to go in first with my... Actually, I can just go in. Let me take it back because I was going to grab my red because I'm going to go ahead. What did I do? No, I stamped with the... Where did my... There it is. My speaker fell over. There we go. I went ahead initially and stamped with pomegranate splash. And now I remember. And then I went over it with my clear embossing powder on top of it. And that way, and then so that I could emboss it. Now let's see where it is. Here's my clear one. Whoops, as I'm knocking things over because, you know, I never have my act together. I don't know why you guys think I know what I'm doing. You just hang out with me, and I love you for it. I don't know why, because if nothing else, I'm entertaining in my madness. But, you know, I do love what I do. I am having a ball here. I am glad. You have no idea truly how grateful I am that you guys come and hang out with me and watch me do all of this craziness. But I'm going to stamp first my love you. And let's see how many do I need. Yeah, I want to darken it out a little bit more. I definitely want to darken it out. The embossing, my embossing ink will be the one that will stay wet enough for me to emboss it, which is ultimately what I want to do. And then I'll come back with my pink to do the hearts, because they will be. And I remember I used warm lipstick, so Tim Holtz warm lipstick. So I do mix my inks. I used to be I used to be a journey coach, which is why I have so much of the FSJ stamps and why I haven't got rid of them, because really, you know, even though I have moved on, the inks are good. They are good inks. And if you watch, you will find them go on sale periodically. Right now, especially, I've seen them go on sale a lot. Now, let me go and grab my clear pigment, but give me 1 second, because let me set up also my my heat gun, okay? So give me 1 second. That took a second or 5 longer than I thought it would, but that's also because I swear that I thought I heard the peanut gallery come home from work, which is like an hour early, and I'm like, what the heck is that all about? And then, of course, Beauregard, the basset hound, wanted to go out, so it's like, okay, well, let's let you out for your evening sabbatical. Or constitutional, that's the word I'm looking for. But I went ahead and then I found the ink. I found everything I needed. So I'm going to hit it a couple of times just with my pigment, my clear pigment ink. So then I can go ahead and emboss its redness. And I'm being a little bit more careful because I caught, you see that little smudge there? That's me. I picked up the corner of the heart. But I'm not going to stress it because I am fairly confident, of course. Joke may be on me. But I'm fairly confident that when I hit it with the worn lipstick, I'll be fine. And if I weren't such a happy, skippy little, you know, rushy person, I'd be okay. But I'm also choosing, you know, and this is part of my madness, I choose not to stress it. It is what it is. It does not have to be pristine, you know, Smithsonian Institute perfect. It just, you know, no matter what, you know, the recipient will understand what it is, which is the beauty of a handcrafted item. So now I'm going to go ahead and hit it with the embossing powder. I think I should have probably done it all at once. I may regret this, but you know I'm going to choose to do it anyway. Regret nothing. That really is, you know, my adage. Whoops. Did you hear that? It's a couple of magnets right now. They're like, oh, I like you. And one of these times, I swear to Pete, I'm going to remember that I need to hit this with the embossing, with my embossing buddy before. But I think it's okay. I think, you know, what I forget is it, there's a St. Jude, I think is one of the saints that is the patron saint of fools and small children. I will let you guys surmise which I am. But let me assure you, small children is not it. Okay. Let me grab Mr. Milwaukee, who's now acquired some attachments. Let's move the magnets. We'll deal with that in a minute. And let's wait for the magic to happen. There we go. Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh, I'm like a little kid when I'm embossing. Nothing gives me more joy. Alrighty. Okay, I'm gonna come back. Let me take a few minutes and let me line this up back off camera so I'm not wasting your guys' time while I'm fixing what I messed up. Bye. Alrighty then, to paraphrase MacArthur, I have returned. It was actually only took me a split second, literally. The gods were with me, and I was able to immediately line this all up. So there you go. So now I'm going to do is hit my hearts, ink up this heart carefully so I don't ink up love while I'm at it and really make a hot mess of things, like only this mad scrapper can. I have raised that to an art form, people. By the same token, you know what? Somebody should, you should be good at something. So, right, I'm a nut. What can I say? But I have fun doing it. So there you go. I have decided that being normal and sane is terribly overrated. No, that's somebody else's job, not mine. Although I'm looking at it, and of course I'm doing this. Give me a second. I got to swap out. No, those aren't the glasses. Swap out from my computer to my detail because I sort of peed. I see something. Yep, I was right. I did see something on this heart. I looked at me and I go, it's just me. So let's move. There we go. The offending foofle and that offending foofle. And there's some offending foofle here. I think actually it came off of my chamois. The one that's supposed to not have anything on it. Okay. Let's go for the first hit of this to get these hearts. And we'll see, because I am doing pink on pink, but I think I picked a pale enough pink that while it won't be like super standoff like it did on the white, I think, yeah, it looks fine. I'm good with that. Of course, I also put it now face down. And worse yet, I got it on my paper. Crud. I gotta be better. I gotta pay more attention. So now I have an opportunity for a decoration like a heart. I can see a heart where I got ink on the paper that I'm going to use in the middle panel because I'm not going to cut new paper out. I am not wasting this paper. No, no, no. We are just going to be creative. We'll figure it out. Okay. Let me hit it one more time. There we go. I need to get me like, actually I could just use, I don't seem to do very well with these claws, trying to do this with the cloth, but let's see. I seem to be able to do it better just flat-handed. And I think that looks pretty good. I think I have enough ink left on the stamp. Seemed like a spot there, but let's see. Let's see. You know what? I'm going to call it good. Even though there's almost a part of me that says there's like a little bit of a spot, but we're going to call it distressing. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, let me move that over here. I'm not closing it. Otherwise, I'm going to turn my matte pink. Don't put it past me. At some point, I'm sure I will. Okay, and don't be scared. This time, before I came back on camera, I actually hit this with my stamp buddy. I remembered this time. I'm so proud of myself. Okay, there we go. Lovely. There we go. We now have fuzzy hearts, but that's not what they're going to stay. We are going to change them. We're going to tame them. They're going to no longer be fuzzy hearts. They're going to be shiny hearts. Pick that up. And let me bring it up close. You can see the magic happen. I do this. I swear I'd emboss everything just to watch it happen. There we go. There's that one little spot. And there we go. And then the big one on top. Come on, my pretty. There we go. Alrighty. So, you guys, once I added the embossing powder, it deepened the color, and I really am okay. I'm cool with the result. My card is a little smidgen warped, but that's nothing that flattening it out, just, putting a book on top of it for a while, is not going to cure. Now, let me put a lid on this. Let me very quickly pour the powder back in here before we end up with a hot mess. Only this mad scrapper. Where's my other brother? There it is. There's my, I love these. Jane Davenport brushes that I do not use for what was their original intended purpose. I know she meant for us to paint with them, but I'm like, no, they're too pretty. I will use them for dusty. That's what they are. They're my little, you know, pretty brooms to do dusty. Okay, that little bit isn't going to kill me. Okay, so now let's go back to the rest of the papers that I have here, and let's finish matting this. So on the inside, I really wanted to use this little piece because it's literally what I had left, but there's a lot of leftover. You see now where I'm going to have to decorate it with God only knows what. We will. Don't put it past me. I'll find something. In fact, I think I already know what I'm going to put there. But anyway, I felt I didn't like the contrast, so I went in and I grabbed a piece of my pink. So I'm going to go ahead and double mat this. That was going to be my solution to the problem. Because there are no mistakes, there are no problems, there are just opportunities for creativity. So I just had to, you know, I mean, it took me a split second to decide, yeah, I'm just going to double mat it and the heck with it. So that way I can use that paper. Because again, you know, the alternative was it was going to be double. I was going to have to cut it down and limit it a little bit more. But I don't know, I'm going to use up this whole piece. Now, let's just, I don't care. I think I'm holding the card up. No, it is right side up, but who cares? It's solid paper, for crying out loud. I had to kind of get over myself, right? I mean, sorry. I'm trying to stay in where the camera is. Okay, I'm just going to lay that down. Okay, and now we're going to grab this panel. And let's get that glued down. Here. How am I doing for tape? I still have tape. I really do. I know that the ATG gun is not everybody's cup of tea, but I love mine. I really do. I mean, I remember the first time I saw it and somebody handed it to me. I'm like, no. They said, no, you're going to love it. And she was right. I have several of them, in fact. You know, one is a little wonky. You know, I can't figure out why it's gotten wonky, and I probably should just, you know, find it a new home or, you know, dispose of it. But, you know, heaven forbid I would do the obvious. Now, we have, I know I had a sentiment. I planned on putting a sentiment there. So where did it go? Let me locate what I was planning on putting there. Okay, give me a second. Little break took longer than I thought because I had to wait for Elvis to get out of the way. But in order for him to get out of the way, he had to steal one of my ink daubers first. So I will later go figure out where he dropped the ink dauber and go and fetch it. But at this point, the easier thing was, it just amuses me. It really does. It cracks me up how he comes and steals those because that's what he wants to play with. So anyway, the reason I couldn't find the sentiment was that I had efficiently put it away. But it gave me the opportunity to find exactly the piece that I thought would work. So that little piece is going to go right there like as if it was meant to be. And I think it was. That's why I made the mistake. I just didn't know it, that I was having a clairvoyant moment. Now, what I'm going in here is because I'm insane, and I actually think I want to dimensionalize it. Although, at the rate I'm going, not finding the skinnier tape that I want to use. I do not want to use my really skinny tape. So, give me a second. Again, let me turn around. That's what I was looking for. I think I've been organizing, and I had 2 rolls of this, and I go, I'm going to put one of them away. Well, I ended up doing is putting them both away because I'm a dork. But I want to pop it up just a tiny bit. And this is not like crazy thick. So just enough. Just enough for the city. Okay, that was your Motown moment. I completely lost my mind. I'm having fun. That's what it is, guys. So we will just put those 2 little pieces down there. And to add that, and then will I leave it flat or will I lift it up? I think I'm going to leave it flat. I'm just going to glue it down with glue as soon as I find. I wanted the little bottle. He didn't steal that, did he? Nope. Use some of just the flat glue. Because I'm afraid if I, you know, pop it up, you will be able to see the offending redness. And I'm just going to make it a little cattywampus. And there we go. Problem solved. Crisis averted. The crowd goes wild. Okay. And along we go. Just put this together real quick. Oh, for Pete's sakes. There we go. And we'll I was going to say carefully center it. Do that again. Okay. I still have picked up embossing powder. And we're going to leave that this way. This, I will later decide what sentiment I want to stamp in there. Right now, I'm just going to leave it as is. So we can close it. Now, all I have to do is put my little embellishment here on this card. What I ended up doing was just grabbing one of my long pieces and popping it right in here. I don't have any more of those. In fact, I think that was the only one. What I have decided to do is I'm going to put down this, I'm just going to stack these flags. Because if one is good, two is better. You know, more is better. And I hear somebody who is now whining at the door, who is done with his constitutional, wanting to be let in. Well, he's just going to have to wait a hot second. I know I'm a bad dog mom. What can I say? But let me just let my tape down because we're almost done here. I really did not want this video to go too long or very long. I think it is for sure going longer than I wanted it to. Let me just set this down. There we go. And I'm going to do the X's and O on top of it because it makes me happy to do it. There we go. We'll pop that right down there. Jizz. And there we go. And then what I had thought in a genius moment, where are they? Oh, they're right in front of me. Is I'm going to pop some of my little handy dandy Recollections hearts that I picked up. I probably should have bought more. I really should have. But look at them. I bought these before, you know, with plenty of time, and I've only used. I'm barely breaking them out. So that's the epic failure I am for using all the stuff I buy. And I'm going to go with red. And I'm just going to lay down just a trickle of hearts here because no, I didn't want them straight, which means that's what they're going to do because that's not what I want. But I'm going to lay down 3, and this is going to pop it up, and I know I shouldn't. It's unorthodox, and I'm doing it anyway. You know, what can I say? No, drat it. And there we go. So that will close up. Kind of, sort of. But we're almost done here because I'm ready now for the belly band. And it should still, let's see. It will still come down on it. Yeah, it will. It's a little tight, but that's fine. We're okay. So let me just now, I'm going to apply my little tape to, it's right here in front of me, duh. 2 little pieces there to hold it shut. Okay, one little piece will do it, and the other little piece is now going to be rubbed off. Oops. And now we're going to apply, and this was literally a scrap. Perfect size just about, except it's a little rough there. So this is what we have nail files for. I want to smooth it out. I'm going to smooth that out using the nail file. And these are just little 99-cent store nail files that happen to be pink and pretty. And you're going to say, Meyer, but there's a hole in the middle, or not quite in the middle, to the left of that paper. What are you thinking? Just wait. Wait and see, O ye of little faith. I actually know what I'm doing. I know that's a stretch, right? But I'm going to go ahead and now lay that down. Right. Oh, goodness gracious. There we go. Perfect. Beautiful. See, now this was what I told you. I knew what I was doing. That is my evil plan, is to cover that hole with another little gumaflachi. And let me grab, I want to grab, why is nothing where I think it should be? Oh, there they are. I'm going to grab one of my little triangle guys. I'll put that cattywampus too. But before I do, actually, no, I think I'll do it after because then it'll have this to stabilize it. Let me lay this down. Oh, for P, let me press it down. And now, of course, removing the tape is a whole other ball of wax. And let me lay that down. There we go. All right, give me a second so I can let Sir Weiner in. All right, I'll be right back. All right, that took longer than I thought. You guys don't know that, but Elvis hopped right back up here while I was working, and he basically wanted a hug. Elvis speak for hug means that he crawls up on my chest and drapes himself off his shoulder like this, 10, 12-pound cat. We're still a kitten. So yes, then it just pins me. I can do nothing until he's done, and then now I could march on and grab. So what I was doing, which my evil plan was to put some twine. So I'm using some handy dandy Recollections twine that I've had for God only knows how long, that you buy usually in the impulse aisle before you check out. It's an evil place to walk by, and lately most times I've actually been able to get away with not finding anything, but this one time I picked up several spools of this thread. There's this one, and I think I got it in brown and I believe black too, but I just cut a length of it, and this is how I'm choosing to do my bow. I'm going to do little bunny ears, which we all are familiar with. Each. And let me just, hopefully, I can coordinate this. Yes. Look at that. Terrible. Okay, let's fix it. It's like, good Lord. It always starts out being a hot mess, and then I finagle it a little bit, or might take more finagling than usual. The other one I did turned out, became what I wanted to be very, very quickly. But then I'm also using different twine, so we'll just fiddly fart with it just a little bit more. I don't want to take up too much time. And there we go. So for right now, I'm just going to leave the tails long until I decide how long I really want those tails. Let me take that in a little bit. But, I mean, guys, really, I'm done. There it is. What do you guys think for the card which should have been trashed, but I salvaged? There you go. So here's your installment of Fixed It Friday. I fixed it. I fixed the mistake. I made a new mistake. I fixed that too. There is always rebounding from something you do. I just wanted you to know that, okay? And you guys watch me as I sit here and I make a mess of things. But it's okay. That's the point. I always say there's not a mistake. There's only an opportunity for creativity. So there you have it. Now I have another one. I'll have to put this one that I originally made my husband. I have to put that back where he had it. He's so cute. He actually has it on display on our dresser. He had it stood up, kind of leaning against our TV there so that he can see it. I think that is so cute, man. That is a chick thing to do, not a guy thing. So it's like, oh, he warms my heart. So anyway, there you go. Now we have it, thing one and thing two. If you guys enjoyed this, got something out of it, realize that, yeah, I can do this. If Myra can mess it up, I can mess it up and fix it too. Then by all means, give me a thumbs up, toss me a comment if you have the time. I look for the comments. And then please, by all means, if you want to see more of my madness, more of my insanity, by all means, subscribe and ring the bell. I will be back, until somebody throws tomatoes at me or something. But meanwhile, guys, go out there, please. Be careful. Take care of yourselves. Be safe. Go out there and be creative. Make something beautiful. And don't forget, we're all a little mad here. So scrap the madness, okay? Talk to you guys later. Bye.